Here we are again, the watch I wore most in 2023, and for me that is this, the Casio G-Shock 6900-PT1 by John Mayer. Now this watch is special to me because I was fortunate to be a part and produce the video for the launch of this watch, and I have so many great memories associated with that, and I'm so proud to be a part of that. It is a big watch, I have small wrists, but I was really surprised at how easy it is to wear, and that's why it's my most worn watch this year.
My most worn watch of 2023 is my Shark Freestyle. It's colorful, it's waterproof. I got through a weekend trip in a yurt with this, and we found out upon arrival there was no running water. So if we can get through that together, we can get through anything.
The watch I wore most this year was my IWC Ingenor Reference 3521. I often find myself reaching for this one due to its overall wearability. It's got a 34mm case, it's extremely light, and has a very accommodating integrated bracelet. These IWCs were designed by Gerald Genta, so that doesn't hurt either. And yeah, small watches rule.
This is my Tudor Pelagos 39. I absolutely love it, and it's easily the watch I wore most this past year. I got it in March, had it engraved at the Tudor factory in Le Loc, and have since just basically been wearing it non-stop, including on some dives in Florida and in Mexico. For me, it's about a perfect combination of a nice modern take on a dive watch that, thanks to the titanium, just wears so well on my wrist.
The watch I wore most this year is my Cartier Panthère. This watch was given to me as a gift by my husband James for my 30th birthday, and as a way to celebrate, at that point, 7 years working at HODINKEE. And I love this watch because it is tiny, it is feminine, it's a little bit too big, and it bounces around on my wrist, but it serves as a really perfect complement to the other watch in my collection, which is a Tudor Black Bay. I hope to be able to wear this one for years to come.
The watch I wore most this year was my Rolex Pepsi GMT. It's probably my all-time favorite watch across all the models that they've made in history, and I waited years to get this watch. So when I finally picked it up in May, it barely left my wrist, and I plan to basically beat it up and wear it into the ground for the rest of my life.
Happy holidays, everyone. Rounding out the year with one of my favorite traditions. The watch I wore most in 2023 for me was the Mito Ocean Star limited edition for HODINKEE. It's a watch that honestly was a total sleeper hit for me, one that I didn't expect to love as much as I do or wear as much as I do. It's also a watch that my brother bought for himself to celebrate a new job that he started this year, so kind of an added level of sentimental attachment to this watch for a lot of reasons. But yeah, for me it's the Mito Ocean Star limited edition for HODINKEE. I love this watch, great GMT, and wishing you all a very happy, healthy, and prosperous 2024.
This is my Omega Snoopy Speedmaster. I love the design of the dial, and especially Snoopy flying through space on the case back. I have other chronograph watches, but this is the watch that I actually activate the chronograph function the most. It's a great conversation starter and watch that makes everyone smile.
The watch I wore the most this year, it's my TAG Heuer Aqua Racer Solargraph. I gotta say, before owning this watch, I was really unsure of how I felt about titanium watches, but then that color scheme on the dial of this watch really caught my attention. So I got it the same day as my birthday. I've been wearing it almost every day since, and it has definitely triggered a newfound love/obsession with titanium watches for me.
The watch I wore the most in 2023 is the yellow gold double wrap Bulgari Serpenti, which basically feels like an extension of me at this point. It's a perfect watch in my eyes, and I like to think it mirrors my personality, which is sort of loud but refined.
The watch I wore the most in 2023 is this Rolex Datejust. I purchased this watch for myself to commemorate a special moment in my career, and I really adore it. It is from the late 1970s, has a tiger eye dial on an 18-karat bracelet, and every time I wear it, it definitely brings a smile to my face.
This is my Rolex Explorer 1016. It's a damn near perfect watch, and if it sounds like a bit of a cliche, it's only because it's that good. It's an absolute grail of a watch, and it was a privilege to be able to pick one up this year. I grabbed an example from the 80s because it felt vintage, but something I could wear every day, and I've hardly taken it off since, easily making it my most worn watch of 2023.
The watch I wore most this year was Chanel J12. So why? I borrowed this watch from my wife, but it has good specs and the size is just right. So I kept borrowing and wore it a lot this year.
Watch I wore most this year is the Timex Q. It's a vintage reissue from 1978. Earlier this year, I kind of went down on a tangent of slightly boxier case designs. And so when I found this, it was a pretty easy decision, especially considering the price point. Pretty quickly, I swapped out the strap. This is a slightly blue tone strap. And so I kind of play around with it, have fun with it. I probably swap out the strap once a week, but that just keeps the watch feeling fresh for me.
The watch I wore the most this year was the Omega Moon Swatch Mission to Mercury. I bought this watch because I'm working on collecting all of the moon swatches, and I like how the collection has the look and feel of each planet in the solar system. It's also very light and comfortable to wear, especially after swapping out the band. Happy holidays, and thanks for making me watch obsessed, HODINKEE.
Hey guys, my name is Adam. I run marketing here at HODINKEE, and the watch that I wore the most in 2023 is hands down my Vermont Broadsword. This is a watch that I bought almost a year ago while on family holiday in London, and to celebrate such a great family trip, I wanted to buy a watch from a British watchmaker. What I love specifically about this broadsword is that it actually says London in the sub-seconds, and every time I see that, it just brings me back to that family vacation and puts a smile on my face, and that's probably why it hasn't left my wrist for most of 2023.
Hey guys, it's Pedro from HODINKEE Insurance. Just wanted to share with you the watch that I wore most this year, which won't come as a surprise to my coworkers, my Serica 5303. I love Serica. I have two others. They're 4512 California and the W.M. Brown Field Watch. So when they introduced their diver, it was a no-brainer for me. The 5303 really represents my continuation as a watch collector and enthusiast.
This is my Zen Stu. I bought this watch to commemorate my join HODINKEE this year. I prefer watches with unusual design to simple ones. When I wear a watch to HODINKEE events, leaders express interest, and that's where the conversation begins. This watch reminds me of the face of our leaders.
The watch I wore the most this year is my Rolex Explorer, reference 1016 from 1963. I bought this watch on the first day at HODINKEE back in 2021 and it's been my daily wear ever since. I think it's one of the best time-only sports watch designs ever made.
Hi everybody, so the watch that I wore most this past year is definitely my Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean. I bought this piece over 2 years ago now when I first started with the company to kind of commemorate my new job. I love how sporty this piece is and find that it still has some kind of feminine element with the white dial and the white bezel, which allow me to wear it with many different outfits. And yeah, now anytime I wear it, I get to think about when I started with the company and how much I've grown.
So the watch that I wore most this year was definitely the Unimatic Modelo Quattro UT4B. When it first came out this year, I was super excited. It's definitely one of my favorite designs they've ever done. But I think what was so special was that I actually got to take this watch along to a trip to Italy this summer, to a friend's wedding, but along the way I got to meet up with the Unimatic team in Milan. What was so cool was wearing this watch, being in their studios and seeing all the cool stuff they're up to. Definitely one of the highlights of my year.
The watch I wore most this year is the Breitling Aerospace 56062. It's the first watch that I got after working here at HODINKEE and getting into high-end watches. And it's titanium, it's quartz, it has about every single function you could hope to have in a watch. So that's why it's the watch I wore most in 2023.
Hi guys, I will show my Super B, this Cartier Tank Santoré. Yes, actually it's my holy grail for a long time, and I've got this in this November. So I don't wear it so much now, but I take it every day. It's really my holy grail.
Hi, I'm Hannah Nicole Miller. I'm our VIP merchandiser, and the watch I wore most this year is my Rolex 1990s Oyster Datejust. My mom gave me this watch in high school. I absolutely love it. I wear it almost every single day. It makes me feel put together. Love wearing it with another bracelet. Make a little worn luxury. Thanks.
I'm sharing my Graciosa Original Panmatic Luna. I bought it when I joined HODINKEE Japan. I like the fact that it's classic,
one generation design that nobody else wears. I've been wearing it everywhere, so the other day I drop it and scratch it. Next year I will start with this repair.
The watch that I wore most this year was my Tudor Black Bay 58. This is sort of a watch that I found myself taking with me on tons of trips this year. Spent a lot of time in Europe at the beginning of the year and basically only had this watch with me. It's super special, one that I plan to keep forever, but it's been a memory maker for me in 2023. Happy New Year, everybody.
Hey guys, Ben here. So the watch I wore most in 2023 was this. It doesn't look like much, but to me it's actually probably my favorite watch, or at least one of my favorite watches. Not too many people in my life give me watches. I think they probably think I have enough, or they probably think they don't know enough about them to give me something, but my wife, for my 40th birthday, went ahead and got me a watch that I've always loved and always admired and one I've always wanted. And it's a 36mm day date, brand new, reference 128236. 36 millimeters, silver dial. It's engraved on the back with a note from her. This to me is the watch that kind of says you could be done. You kind of stop caring about all the hype and all the other things out there. It's a watch that feels extremely grown up, so I think a fitting gift for a 40th birthday. To me, it's a perfect thing. It flies under the radar. Nobody ever notices it, which is kind of the point. But to me, I know that it's a very, very special thing. Made even more special by the fact that it was given to me on my 40th birthday by my wife. So this is a watch that will be with me forever, and one that I wear all the time.